Okay, so welcome back to the fourth section. Now, in this section, we'll be dealing with structures and unions. Both of these are used to group different data types together, but there is a slight difference between the two. In this one, we'll be talking about structures, and in the next one, we'll be taking a look at what union is. Right. So, again, as I said, structure is basically a way to group different data types into one single unit. So, let's go ahead and make a structure right now. The keyword for structure is struct. As you can see, it got bolded here, and this is the name of the structure. So instead of writing structure, let me go ahead and write student so that it will be easier to understand. Now what we can do in here inside these braces is that we can write all the different attributes or all the different variables which represent the student. So I can say int roll number, I can say character name of 20. I can make an array, I can make an array of marks, right? So as you can see, we have different data types into one single unit. That is what a structure basically is, and it ends with a semicolon here. So now when we make a variable of this structure, it basically means that all these values should be initialized or should be declared for that particular variable, right? So this is basically another user defined data type, because we are telling the compiler as to what all do we require in a variable. So let's go ahead and make a variable. So we need to say struct student and the variable name, say s1. So as soon as we write this statement, what will happen is that the s1 memory space will be allocated and all these variables. Now as soon as we create this variable s1, what happens is that all these values are now whenever now as soon as we write this statement struct student s1, what happens is that all these variables are allocated memory, right? So for one single s1 we have these different variables in the memory, so we need not initialize it every single time, like roll number differently and character name again. So as we can, so if we say s1 s2 s3 etc., what happens is that there are three different students, right? So for s1 we have one set of values, for s2 we have another set of values, for s3 we have another set of values. So you see how easy it is to actually club different values together into a single unit, because that reduces our typing efforts. We'll need to write roll number s1, name s1, marks s1, and then again we need to write roll number s2, etc. So this is how you reduce the work. It actually initializes everything for all the three individual objects, all the three individual variables, right? These are called structured variables here. So let's actually go ahead and read a few values so that you understand how to use it. So I'll say enter details, and I'll go ahead and read them quickly. So let's say one name, scanf, percentage s, since it is a string, and we'll say name. No need of ampersand because we are dealing with strings. Then again printf to say roll number, we'll read only two values. Percentage d, since it is an integer, ampersand, comma, ampersand, roll number. Now one thing that we need to take care of here is that we can't just write name or roll number, because which variable does this correspond to? Does this mean the name of s1? Does this mean the name of s2? Or is it represent, or does it mean the name of s3? So we need to specify which variable we want, and we need to use a dot operator, right? So we'll say s1 dot name, which will make it clear to the compiler that we are dealing with the name of s1 variable, and again we can write s1 dot roll number. So let me quickly go ahead and print them as well so that we can see if they are actually being read or not. I'll simply print percentage s, percentage d, name, comma, roll number. Again here we need to specify which name are we referring to. Right, so that should be enough. Let's run this and see what we get. Alright, so just my name is Aquib, my roll number is this. Right, so we got the output Aquib 17, which is what we wanted. Right, so that is basically what a structure is. It is used to group different data types into a single unit, and you can also create variables here, right? Like s1, s2, s3, etc. There is no specification as to you should define it only inside a main. The only thing is, if you are doing it inside main, you need to include these two things, and if you're doing it here, you need not mention them again because that is in the same body. Right, so that is all about structures. One more thing is that you can also create an array of structure variables, right? Like S10. Suppose you have 60 students in the class, so you can directly go ahead and write S60 here. Again, for reading the 60 values, you need to use a for loop, and you can do that very easily, right? So it is also possible to have arrays of structure variables. You can have as many variables here as you want, but you cannot have functions in here. That is the drawback of structures. It can contain only variables, right? So it is not possible to have functions inside here. Again, struct keyword, student is the name of the structure or the identifier, and in this block you need to specify all the different data types you want and a semicolon at the end. So basically we are creating our own data type, right? It is a user defined data type. So when I create a variable of that particular structure, these three values are stored for me in the memory, right? I get memory allocated for these three variables. So if I am saying S60 as we are doing at the moment, it will allocate 60 different sets of these three values, right? So it will be S1 dot roll number, S1 dot name, S1 dot marks one set, S2 dot roll number, S2 dot name, S2 dot marks second set, so on until S dot 60, right? So that is what a structure is used for. So that's all about structures actually that you guys need to know. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one where we'll be discussing about union.